Today we will explore and unpack the topic of the Great Awakening and the true teacher, so the soul as the true teacher. And basically what we're going to be talking about or exploring is how the soul initiates the Great Awakening in the human, and then how, as the human creature, we can work with the soul or with the higher levels as our ultimate teacher, and how we can contribute through this communication with these higher levels to the evolution or the evolutionary process that the soul is undertaking. So this is all about communication with those higher levels, working together. So we'll be reading of my book, Healing, Wholeness and God Realisation, the next chapter, which is chapter 8, The Awakening and the True Teacher. It is not random that you find yourself here. It is not by some random, coincidental slip-up that you find yourself alert and conscious in the form world. It is not random that you are embodied on planet Earth in this time and in this place. Whether you are aware of it or not, you have chosen to be here, and you have perfectly selected the conditions, including the particulars of your physical body, in which you are having your existence. The experience of being embodied as a human creature on planet Earth is a deeply unique one. To possess this kind of self-consciousness and awareness is very interesting to the soul. I remind you again that the soul exists outside of time and space. It exists in a dimensional reality which is unique to it. The soul's environment is not made of physical matter. It has a form of its own, a form which is more energetic and more feeling-based in nature. There are no lumps of solid matter to bump into and to move around. There is only pure energy and life force, existing in a state which is vibrationally prior to physicality. This realm consists of energy before it is slowed down so much in vibration that it appears solid. In the reality of the soul, great experiments are being had. Possibilities and potentials originating as higher thought form, or perhaps more correctly, feeling forms, are being translated into physical realities. The realm and dimension of the soul is more like a great creative factory where energetic entities come together to design and birth new form world experiences based on what best serves the evolution of the souls who are involved. The soul is not limited in its creative capacity by time and space, as has been previously shared, and so the time and the location of certain on-the-ground events and physical developments are very specifically chosen to increase the possibility of ideal outcomes and evolutionary developments. This means that you are not random. Your life is not random. It has been chosen and built with specific intent and has even been orchestrated with the involvement of other souls who are also seeking to have experience and to evolve through their form-based vehicles, and with the planet herself, who seeks to learn and evolve through your presence and contribution here. The soul evolves through feeling. The soul does not have its own physical body with physical senses through which to interpret your experience here. The soul instead feels your experience. The energetic body of the soul is impressed upon, is changed by energy-based feeling. Your physically oriented senses are perceiving the world around you, collecting sensory data. That sensory data is interpreted in the physical body where it is translated into information, into neural activity, hormonal fluctuations, specific thoughts, emotions, and other physical sensations and responses. These responses to the environment are then meant to be turned into feeling, into an energetic frequency or energetic information package, which can be received and interpreted by the soul through its energy-based senses. These frequencies are then able to be translated into data in the soul body, which causes changes to occur in the soul body in the same way that your physical sensory information alters and creates change in your physical body. In this way, through feeling, the soul is aware of your experience in the form world and is able to evolve as a result of the experiences being had here. It is your engagement in life which enables the soul's evolution. As the soul receives feeling-based interpretations of your experiences in the form world, it responds. The soul is able to send new input and instruction to you on the ground based on the information it is receiving from you. The soul is able to guide you, to offer insight and wisdom, to communicate with you, to support you, and to impress upon you, through feeling, the ideal way forward. The soul is even able to adjust and alter your on-the-ground experience through its co-creation with other souls and with the natural environment itself, based on the data it receives from you. The communication between the human creature and the soul is intended to be two-way. The soul looks through you by utilizing the feeling data which is conveyed to it, and the soul guides you through reciprocated feeling data. This ease in communication is vital if the soul's plan for evolution is to be fulfilled, and if the soul's intended service work is to be realized. The feeling of wanting to serve, of experiencing the divine discontent which couples an unshakable and niggling feeling that there's something I'm meant to be doing, so common in the beginning stages of awakening, is a feeling message which is being sent from the soul. It is intended to propel you into searching for the truth. There is something more to life. What is the point of it all? What is my meaning and my purpose? These are all messages from the soul, prodding you to awaken and to begin seeking. Even feelings of depression can be your interpretation of the message from the soul that you are off track. The soul will also communicate with you through great and profound feelings of love and rightness. A great many people who are undergoing the experience of turning their heart and their mind over to the soul, and who are flooded with the incredible righteousness of this, misinterpret the experience and call it a religious one. They believe that they have been saved by Jesus, or that they have felt the love and forgiveness of a Christian God. Their experience is so profound and so pure that it does not occur to them that it could be originating from within them, and so they attribute their deeply spiritual experience of the grace to the grace of a being who exists outside of them. Often, what is really occurring is a reawakening and a reattuning to the indwelling soul, which results in a flooding forth of the soul's reality, which is indeed profound and pure, possessed of a deeply transformative frequency of grace and love which takes root within the heart of the beholder. You truly are saved after an experience such as this, just perhaps not in the way that you presumed yourself to be saved. This kind of communication with the soul is available to everyone, but most individuals are so deeply immersed in their mission to go forth and have experience, so deeply identified as the separate self with the logical thinking mind acting as a barrier between the soul and the form world, rather than acting as a bridge, which is how the mind can correctly be used, that they are not consciously communicating and receiving guidance. Their lives appear to them to be random and out of control. They are victims to circumstance because they are not conscious of the soul's intention to evolve and the reasons why they are manifesting certain experiences for themselves. They are haphazardly feeding information about their environment to the soul through seemingly random bursts of emotional or mental data which can simply no longer be contained. The soul is misinformed about the life of its human creature and is unable to respond with the kind of support that the human creature actually requires. The soul's evolution based on this feeling data is jolty, hindered, and incomplete. Sometimes in the time span of a deeply self-indulgent life, the soul may evolve very little, and in some cases it may even de-evolve. When communication with the human is blocked or limited, then the soul may revert to drastic or extreme physical circumstances such as devastating loss or a reality-shattering experience of some kind to almost shock the human creature into opening communications back up. When a human finds themselves in a situation where mental constructs fall short and where emotion can no longer be suppressed, they may finally open themselves up to receive guidance and comfort from the soul. The guidance and comfort from the soul, when compared with the sensory bombardment of our physical world, is gentle and subtle. It is a whisper, a feeling, a stoking of the heart's fire. It is an inspiration, a new outlook, a sudden realization or insight. It is a feeling of being in place, on track. It can also be a feeling of doom or dread or general discomfort. Feelings are the voice of the soul, and feelings in our hyper-intellectual realities can easily be stifled or explained away. We can apply logic to anything, and we can use our minds to convince ourselves of anything. In general, humanity seeks a form of stifling safety through mental activity. The mind is being wielded as a shield between the individual and the outer world, between the assurance of the known and the uncertainty of the unknown. Using our minds, we locked ourselves into a version of reality which makes sense to us, which doesn't challenge us, our safety, our sense of self, our belonging, our worthiness, or our basic understanding. Using our minds, we can avoid shocking or confronting truths. We can be anyone we believe ourselves to be. We can find a strange sort of comfort in being the victim to circumstances. We can lead simple, hedonistic lives where we don't have to wonder about the meaning of things. We don't have to love or even think about our neighbor. We can carry on in our mentally designed, self-centered little realities without having to bother too much about changing or dealing with the painful emotions, without having to answer to a soul and tend to our own evolution and the evolution of others. We use our mental bodies, the body which exists between the soul and the emotional or form world, to lock ourselves in and shut the soul out. Again, such blockages can be shaken loose by shocking or devastating, inexplainable experiences in the form world. Such blockages can be pushed upon by a soul determined to break through, whispering and conveying feelings until the heart finally receives. But ideally, any blockages need to be deliberately removed as the human creature seeks unity with the soul. This is done by stilling the mind, doing away with illusion, asking that the truth be revealed, and in as many moments as possible, turning the heart and the mind like a satellite dish, receiving your personal soul-level channel. Each soul has its own channel, an energetic frequency which is unique to the soul and the individual. It's like the unique radio frequency through which a specific station can be picked up and tuned into. By opening and stilling the mind and bringing your consciousness deep into your heart center, you will locate and feel the frequency which is yours. Your frequency is the resonance of the rays of energy which make up your being. It is the life force which flows through you, brings the cells of your body together and causes them to resonate in harmonious unison. It is the flavor of the aspect of God that you are embodying, and it lies within you. It is not in another person. It is not in material possessions. It is not in your perfect behavior. It is not found in a church. It is found in you. It is through this frequency that the soul communicates with you. And when you awaken to this frequency, when you open the gates of your mental bridge, when you allow the soul to flow forth and to share its love with you, then you become instantly transformed. The experience is, indeed, a deeply religious one, but the truth that you are awakening to is the truth of who and what you really are. You are beginning to merge with the soul, and the soul's reality is beginning to be shared with you. This is deeply profound, but with such a blessing comes great responsibility. So that's all for our current chapter. And the next chapter we'll be reading is The Perfection of the Act of Evolution. And this is all about the intention and the plan of the evolutionary journey itself. But for now, that's all.